And welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, having the monthly conversation with Thomas Caldwell of Caldwell Securities Ltd. We're talking about the mining sector, the Prospectors and Developers Conference in Toronto. Any sense about electric vehicles? Is that going to help save the sector in Canada, or is it nothing going on there either?
I'm sorry, say again. I didn't quite hear.
Electric vehicles. Is that going to help the Canadian or Ontario sector?
The focus there is lithium and nickel. Lithium is very plentiful all around the world. There's some big projects in South America and Chile, and in Canada as well. In Manitoba, also Quebec. So they're trying to put the minerals fueling electrification. Electrification is coming in one way or another. And the metaphor I've used is the simplicity of an electric motor versus a gasoline engine. Electric, as far as it's just one moving part spinning around, it's like a jet engine kind of thing. So they're a lot easier to maintain, tremendous immediate power to them. But all that notwithstanding, we're way ahead of our skis in electrification. You're seeing vehicles being turned back. There are many who claim they really don't work above the 49th parallel, cold, etc. Does impact performance. And you see car sales are actually up, but they're not necessarily significantly up on the electrification type. They're up, but they're not where the whole industry expected to. So there's still talk about clean diesel, hydrogen, etc. So we have a ways to go before that gets sorted out. And it's good if you have a town car, you can charge at your home. But if you're in an apartment or you have to park in the street, doesn't work. And you're driving locally, that's okay. So we're still a way to go in that thing. I think we're a little bit ahead of ourselves, at least government agencies are a little bit ahead of themselves in that area. I think the industry is recognizing it's going to be a little slower.
So help me understand, because I'm glad you mentioned auto sales, because I saw the stats on the February auto sales in Canada, which jumped by 24.5%.
Yes.
So you're saying that's not an electric vehicle trend, that's just a general trend. Is that right?
I think it is general. Now, I must say, I haven't seen the breakdown of which is what, but I know electric vehicle inventories are building up at the dealer level, and their sales may be increasing, but not to the extent that they have talked about. So there are other companies. I mean, Toyota and these people are talking about hydrogen, etc. Every time I think hydrogen, I associate with the Hindenburg. I don't know that I want to have something that explosive driving around with me. It's like propane cars. Propane cars, you're not allowed to park in apartment buildings or office buildings.
Interesting.
So it'll be interesting. We're moving in a direction there. I think very often the optimists get a little ahead of themselves. But as time goes on, there'll be better batteries, there'll be better storage, things will improve. But it's going to take a while.
Can I just switch gears again and talk a little bit about the retail sector, Tom? I noticed that the body shop is cratering. I guess they filed for bankruptcy protection. Is retail still a mess, or what's going on there?
I can't give you a macro picture. I live in a microcosm of Toronto. Now we do know it's the center of the known universe, but in actual fact, things in the downtown area of Toronto are tough. They're tough because a war on cars, which we've embarked upon, particularly at the municipal, is a war on business. And as I go through the path in the TD Center and Royal Bank, etc., there's lots of stores closed. Even McDonald's, for Pete's sake, and Harvey's, but a lot of closed stores they're just boarded up there now. So I think retail generally is still having a problem. And remember, millennials and Generation Z, they're all cheap. They don't want to pay. They can get it online, check around. So a lot of shopping is done online, and very often, for example, if I'm going to own a book, Liz, as you know, my associate here, she just helps me out and just orders it on Amazon, and I don't have to walk over to the bookstore and get it. So there's a whole dynamic going in the retail business. A lot of the big box stores are having some Canadian Tire.
Yeah.
That's a Canadian icon, and they're having to revamp their whole product line.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're trying to switch it up to try to maintain market share.
I don't know to what, but even driving around, again, I'm using Toronto as a microcosm, so I am tainted here.
Yeah.
So it is difficult, to drive to the local Canadian Tire store and Davenport and Yonge Street. things are a little bit hard, but they are doing a fair amount of work because they've had some financial challenges as well. So the nature of retail and consumer, it's all changing so dramatically. Whether it be dress, I mean, how many people buy suits anymore, for example, and or wear ties like me? You and I are an anachronism kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no,
So
I've been called worse than anachronism, but we'll leave it at that. We're going to take another break with Tom Caldwell. Please stay with us. We'll be back after these messages.